is so many ways to be good in speaking English, and there's so many ways to learn every day how to good in English. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
So I will tell you some ways to be good in speaking English. First, we can be to improve. We must constantly speaking out loud every day. For example, we can practice and listen. For like we can record our voice and listen to it, and then we hear where it sounds wrong and everything. Plus, we can watch some podcasts or some horror video, whatever, and then we can repeat what they say in the video after listening without say anything at all. What do you think?
I think a way for me to start speaking English fluently is speaking English as much as possible. One thing that we absolutely have to do to speak English fluently is get more speaking practice. This way is the most effective way to improve our English. Let's say if we're not living in a country where spoken English is not common, we need to find opportunities to practice by trying some of these methods. First, buddy up with an English speaker who is learning our native language, or download a language app. Second, schedule one-on-one online class with an English tutor to get expert advice on our English speaking skills. Last one, use English learning apps with speech recognition software. How about you?
That's such a great idea and great point too. Plus, for me personally, how to speak English better is by learn in chunks instead of single words. For example, phrases, verbs, and idioms. Using connected words, easy connection like, actually, basically, or idioms could help make your speech flow more like a native speakers. With that, you can speak more fluently in English. Moreover, avoid translating one by one the word. Learn the whole expression as units. Don't waste time trying to translate and conjugate word by word. There's some English word if you translate directly, it's gonna sound different and mean differently. So you need to learn by the sentence instead of word by word. So what do you think?
My other point is that start speaking English with a personal tutor. Students with one-on-one tutoring outperform 98% of those in traditional classrooms. So if you're serious about becoming fluent in English, try invest in a personal language tutor. By talking to an expert English tutor, gives you much needed guided practice and instant feedback to correct your errors before they become the habits. And also, you will be able to ask questions about English regularly to your English tutor, and also you can focus on words and phrases that are most relevant to your life and work by making your learning directly applicable.
To me, I think what you say is such a good point. Moreover, for me personally, I would say to be good in speaking English, we must build confidence by practicing alone if you cannot practice with someone else. For example, you doesn't have time to go out and find someone who can speak with you, you practice alone by role play. Role play is by visualizing or imagining you're in a certain situation, for example, ordering some coffee or in like interview or like just at a party introducing yourself. With that, you can imagine yourself in a real conversation instead of just like reading or just speaking out loud by nothing at all. Moreover, to be more fluent in English, you can try to practice tongue twister. It is to warm up your mouth muscle by repeating difficult phonetic sounds to prepare for daily conversation. For example, like basic one is like seashell by the seashore. Even I struggle by it. What do you think, Anis?
Yeah, I do agree with you. And also, we can use resources made for our level. Let's say our level is beginners. So if we are just starting out, gamified apps, children's books, and educational videos, just for design for beginners, will help build a strong foundation with simple vocabulary and repetitive patterns. that simple words. We just need to know our level so that we can help ourselves. And for intermediate learners, we need to challenge ourselves with slightly more complex materials by watching news reports without subtitles or reading simple novels and articles to expand your vocabulary and grasp your grammar. And for advanced learners, for those at an advanced learner level, use resources like movies, podcasts, and books that native speaker enjoy. Like these materials will refine your fluency by exposing you to everyday expressions and idiomatic language with context. Yes.
Okay, more for me is we can talk with others. For example, to our friends or our families or even each other as people who are learning. For example, in online platform, find a native speaker who wants to learn our language as Malay, so they can teach us English and we can teach them Malay. Moreover than that, it's like we can find another person who also learning like us for them to speak English with us on daily basis. And keep it up over time, you will be better and better. Because speaking is expression of thought and ideas of feeling using the voice. Without using the voice, you will never be good in speaking English. I think that's all for me. What do you think? What else you gonna put?
Okay, the last point is that don't be afraid to challenge ourselves. By improving our English requires stepping out of our comfort zone. Reviewing what you already know won't lead to real progress. Put simply, you want to always feel slightly uncomfortable when you are studying. For instance, if you usually watch shows with subtitles in your native language, switch to English subtitles. Once you get used to that, take it up a notch by watching without any subtitles. This progression not only sharpens your listening skills, but also boosts your understanding. And also, talking with native speakers is another fantastic way to push your limits, whether it's through language exchange partners or a private tutor. English conversation practice immerse you in real language use. Along with exposing you to slang and various expressions, chatting in English with a real person challenges you to respond immediately, like a regular conversation in your native tongue. I think I'm done.
You're done?
Yes.